Hi, my name is Carissa Olardi, and I am currently a junior at the College of New Jersey studying elementary education and math. I grew up in New Jersey as an only child, surrounded by my family and friends. My memories include weekly soccer and gymnastics practices, Girl Scouts, and lots of fun at school with friends. Growing up, my parents always placed emphasis on my schooling, and they were always really involved in it as well. Part of my personality is being a perfectionist and putting my all into everything I do, so from early on I held myself to really high standards in school. I also had really great teachers in elementary school and middle school, and it was always expected that I go to college. Reflecting back on my life, I was really unaware of how easy everything was for me. I only came to this realization once I entered college and began to learn about schooling outside of wealthier areas, such as Trenton, which is only a short drive from my campus. Sophomore year, I started to tutor students at the Trenton Public Library after school, a couple of times a week just for a couple of hours, and I was helping them with homework, and sometimes I would just read with the students for fun. I learned a lot about teaching while I was tutoring the students because I was tutoring kids of all ages and tutoring a lot of different subjects. But I think when I learned the most was when I was talking to them not as students doing schoolwork, but as kids. They were always so curious about me and loved asking questions about my life at school. They were enamored that I was a college girl, so most of the time the conversation drifted to college. Almost every single one of the students that I worked with expressed a desire and a dream to go to college. One student specifically was talking to me about it and mentioned concerns about money. And it's crazy to think about how she was already worrying about this because she wasn't even 13 yet. I never worried about these things when I was younger, and I still am fairly unaffected by a lot of worries about my schooling and finances. It was really difficult for me to reflect on the fact that these students were so young and yet they were worrying about such things. And it was even harder to realize that they were so intelligent and so hardworking and naturally curious, and it doesn't make sense to me why it should be harder for them to go to school and go to college. It's not fair that we live in a world in which students don't have equal access to such important things as quality education in college. Through experiences such as this, I have grown a lot as a person, and my mindset as an educator has changed. When people used to ask me why I wanted to be a teacher, I usually just said that I liked kids, and I think it was more of a selfishness in me when I felt good about helping people. But now I view education a lot differently. Being a teacher is a really important job because as teachers we are cultivating the minds of the next generation. And every student in this country deserves teachers who believe this. From what I've seen, students from all over, no matter where they're from, they have great abilities and amazing dreams for their futures, and each one of them deserves the same chance to make them happen. I know I still have a lot to learn about the field of education, but I'm really excited for the opportunity to teach with Uncommon Schools. Thank you so much for listening.